Alright, no, that was chapter 4. It says, Deborah and Barak. People of Israel again did what was evil in the sight of the Lord. After Ehud died, the Lord sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan, who reigned in Hazor. The commander of his army was Sisera, who lived in Harosheth Haggayim. Then the people of Israel cried out to the Lord for help, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and he oppressed the people of Israel cruelly for 20 years. Now Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Labadoth, was judging Israel at that time. She used to sit under the palm of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel in the hill country of Ephraim, and the people of Israel came up to her for judgment. She sent and summoned Barak, the son of Abinadab, from Kadesh Naphtali, and said to him, Has not the Lord, the God of Israel, who is of course Jesus, commanded you, Go gather your men at Mount Tabor, taking 10,000 from the people of Naphtali, people of Zebulun, and I will draw out Sisera, the general of Jabin's army, to meet you by the river Kishon with his chariots and his troops, and I will give him into your hand. Barak said to her, If you will go with me, I will go, but if you will not go with me, I will not go. And she said, I will surely go with you. Nevertheless, the road on which you are going will not lead to your glory, for the Lord will sell Sisera to the hand of a woman. Then Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh, and Barak called out Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh, and 10,000 men went up at his heels, and Deborah went up with him. Now Heber the Kenite had separated from the Kenites, the descendants of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, and had pitched his tent as far away as the oak in Zidon, which is near Kadesh. When Sisera was told that Barak the son of Abinadab had gone up to Mount Tabor, Sisera called out all of his chariots, 900 chariots of iron, and all the men who were with him, from Harosheth Haggim to the river Kishon. And Deborah said to Barak, Up, for this is the day in which the Lord has given Sisera into your hand. Does not the Lord go out before you? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor with 10,000 men following him, and the Lord routed Sisera and all his chariots and all his army before Barak by the edge of the sword. And Sisera got down from his chariot and fled away on foot. And Barak pursued the chariots and the army to Harosheth Haggim, and all the army of Sisera fell by the edge of the sword, not a man was left. But Sisera fled away on foot to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, for there was peace between Jabin the king of Hazor and the house of Heber the Kenite. And Jael came out to meet Sisera and said to him, Turn aside, my lord, turn aside to me. Do not be afraid. So he turned aside to her from the tent, and she covered him with a rug. And he said to her, Please give me a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. So she opened a skin of milk and gave him a drink and covered him. And he said to her, Stand at the opening of the tent. If any man comes and asks you, Is anyone here? Say no. But Jael, the wife of Heber, took a tent peg and took a hammer in her hand. Then she went softly to him and drove the peg to his temple until it went down to the ground while he was lying fast asleep from weariness. So he died. Wow, so basically she took a tent peg with a hammer while he was sleeping and just nailed it right through his skull. Pretty intense stuff. It says, let's see. And behold, as Barak was pursuing Sisera, Jael went out to meet him and said to him, Come and I will show you the man whom you are seeking. So he went into her tent, and there lay Sisera dead with a tent peg in his temple. So on that day God subdued Jabin the king of Canaan before the people of Israel, and the hand of the people of Israel pressed harder and harder against Jabin the king of Canaan, until they destroyed Jabin king of Canaan. And that's chapter 4. So basically, chapter 4, I mean, Deborah and Barak, I mean, Deborah goes with Barak to talk to this king of Canaan to try and stop all this sin and war and all this stuff that Israel basically falls back to their sin again, and God sends Israel into the hand of the king of Canaan, for punishment for I think he said for like 20 years. And then God sends Deborah and Barak to talk to the king of Canaan and to bring Israel back out of their sin, bring them back to God. So the king ends up leaving in fear, pretty much, of Israel. And later on, Deborah and Barak find the king and they kill him. And then God saves Israel again from their sin. So that's chapter 4. They have a little map here. It says Deborah and Barak defeat the Canaanites. When King Jabin of Hazor began to oppress the Israelites, Deborah called upon Barak from Kadesh Naphtali to fight against him. The Israelite forces gathered on Mount Tabor, and Sisera, the commander of Jabin's army, marched his men to the Kishon River. The Israelites defeated Sisera's forces and chased them all the way back to Horesh Hagoyim, but Sisera fled on foot to the oak of Zanim, where a woman named Jael killed him as he rested in her tent. Now you have Sisera's army marches to Mount Tabor, Barak's army marches to Mount Tabor from Kadesh Naphtali, and then Sisera flees on foot to Jael's tent. But they have a map here, and let's see here. They start in Kadesh Naphtali to go all the way down to Mount Tabor, where they clash against the Canaanite forces. Canaanite forces come from Harosheth Hagum all the way over to Mount Tabor, where they clash with the Israelites. And there's where the king of Canaan is killed. So here's the map of that right there. You can see that. So that's where it was fought at. So that's chapter 4, and I'll be right back with chapter 5 here in a minute.